Hi, my name is Daphne. Welcome to the first episode of WAEC INFOBOX, a public enlightenment and educative program about the activities of the West African Examinations Council, WAEC. WAEC is the foremost examining body in Anglophone West Africa and was established in 1952. It has contributed immensely to the development of education in the 5 Anglophone West African countries. With segments like WAEC and You, WAEC People and Events, WAEC News and Innovations, we open up the world of WAEC to you. Stay tuned and I'll be right back.
WAEC INFOBOX is a public enlightenment program put together by the West African Examinations Council, WAEC Nigeria. As the foremost examining board in the continent of Black Africa, we are convinced we have an obligation to our numerous stakeholders to enlighten the public about the other activities of the West African Examinations Council outside examinations. Please, this is WAEC INFOBOX. Keep watching.
WAEC INFOBOX will serve as a bridge between WAEC and its numerous stakeholders. I urge you to keep watching the program. It promises to be interesting.
3 Ghanaians sweep WAEC Excellence Award for outstanding performance. The West African Examination Council, WAEC, at the just concluded 63rd Annual Council meeting in Lagos, Nigeria, presented International Excellence Awards to 3 most outstanding students in the 2014 May-June WASC examination. The Excellence Award was presented to the 3 young Ghanaian scholars. The 3 of them scored A1 in all 8 subjects. They also got their highest total percentage scores ahead of other candidates who sat the May-June 2014 examination across the 5 Anglophone West African countries, namely Ghana, Gambia, Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. Master Hassan Mikai of Ghana Secondary Technical School, Takoradi, emerged first prize winner with a total of 682 points. Master Kenya Blechi of St. Augustine College, Cape Coast, Ghana, won the second prize with a total score of 680 points, while Master Archibald Henry of Infancy School, Cape Coast, Ghana, claimed the third prize with a total score of 670 points.
It is obviously an honor to be here, but somehow honor doesn't simply cut it. It doesn't simply encapsulate the feeling we have now, because the feeling is simply indescribable. For my fellows and I, it is our first time in Nigeria, and I believe I speak for all of us when I say we are deeply impressed by how warm and how bustling and how cosmopolitan Lagos is. It's such a wonderful place.
Professor Obanya retires as chairman of WAEC Council. Foremost educationist, Professor Pius Augustine Obanya has statutorily drawn the curtain on his appointment as board chairman of the West African Examinations Council after 3 years of meritorious service to the board of WAEC and West Africa. Professor Obanya was appointed into the council as Nigerian's representative in 2012, and he presided over the affairs of the council judiciously within the period with progressive and visionary decision. He is succeeded by the representative of Liberia in the WAEC board, Dr. Evelyn Kandakai, as the next WAEC chairman of council for another 3 years. In a bid to ensure that the complaints and inquiries of clients seeking first-hand information from the West African Examination Council, WAEC, get smooth, easy and quick responses, the council has launched a customer service center at its head office in Yaba, Lagos. The customer service center was constructed and donated to WAEC by Media Concepts International Limited, one of WAEC's service providers. According to the managing director of Media Concepts, Mr. Babatokwe Agbeyo, The gesture is part of his corporate social responsibility.
The objective for constructing and furnishing this center is to help the council achieve its overall customer relationship management strategy, which is in line with the WAEC strategic plan. The center is a genuine demonstration of the council's resilience in resolving candidates' complaints timely, irrespective of their geographical location.
Speaking at the commissioning of the Customer Service Center, Head of National Office, Mr. Charles Egunidu says the structure comprises offices, restrooms, and waiting areas for clients.
Let me state here that the vision of the council is to be a world-class examining body, adding value to the educational goals of its stakeholders. This customer service will indeed add value to the educational aspirations of the Nigerian child. Today's commissioning ceremony is a great event and a milestone in the annals of the history of the council. And we intend to replicate this facility in every zonal and branch offices in Nigeria. It is heartwarming to note that the problem of delay in response to candidates' inquiries will soon fade away. As with this facility, it is now possible for a crop of our trained staff and candidates to interact in real time with the council from any parts of Nigeria.
Former chairman of WAEC, Professor Pius Obanya, says the provision of a customer service center is a move in the right direction for WAEC. The WAEC Customer Service Initiative is said to be the brainchild of former registrar to the council, Alhaja Mulikat Bello, but realized by the current head of national office.
This step to commission this beautiful thing being donated by media concepts. God bless you all.
Welcome back. Now, we've all heard the sad tales of people who had 5 credits, but no English language or mathematics. And this means no university education. Well, on this segment, Ibrahim Adejumo goes on the street to find out the reason for the constant decline in the performance of students in English language and mathematics. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Some is their teachers.
If you compare the private schools and the government schools, the government schools, they have good teachers, but because of the salary aspect of it, most of the time they are not paid on time.
They come to the class once, then they should go to the next class, collect their book and write, or they won't come at all.
They look for other means of making ends meet, leaving their classes.
The core reason is the fact that the family is not together.
We don't check our children. We don't ask them what happened in school.
Children have to work for them to eat.
The reason I think WAEC students, they do fail constantly is because they are not really prepared for all subjects.
On the interview segment, we had a chat with the former chairman of Council, Professor Pius Obanya, on the affairs of the West African Examination Council, and believe me, he took a very good reflection on his tenure and spoke well.
Let's clarify one thing. The chairmanship of WAEC does not involve you managing WAEC. There is no micromanagement of WAEC. And I'm talking of WAEC International because that's why I was chairman. You are a governing council like a board. You take policy decisions. You receive reports from different committees, you take decisions. But you're not going there to say, this person should be employed, this person should lock the toilet. That is the work of the management. And what I met at that level was, first of all, remember, it is owned by 5 countries. Each one will have its own interests. Secondly, Nigeria is the largest, not just demographically, but the largest contributor And you have to play safe, being a Nigerian. I worked in the United Nations, where America will pay 1/4 of it all. But America will recognize Burundi as an equal partner, Equatorial Guinea as an equal partner. So I met that situation in WAEC where there was this harmony. First, because the smaller countries were not pulling trouble, and second, because Nigeria was also not appearing to be domineering, even though it paid 80-something% and had most of the staff, most of the offices. You can't compare the office in Ibadan here, zonal office, to a national office elsewhere in the region. But one other thing about WAEC is that the work is even simpler than my previous experience. My previous experience, the immediate previous, was Regional Director for Education in Africa of UNESCO. You had to deal with 46 countries, and you have to deal with 3 official languages. So a Mr. Balogun from Nigeria and a Mr. Balogun from Benin, because one speaks French and one speaks English, will not see things from the same version. A Mr. Haruna from Sokoto, a Mr. Haruna from across the border in Niger, because they communicate in 2 different languages, things become difficult. And when you get to the UN headquarters, documents are in 6 languages. So what will be so obvious to the English-speaking person will not be so to the Chinese-speaking person, or say French-speaking person. So there is very little of controversy in the management of international WAEC than it is here. But the other thing I found was a level of efficiency. I forgot to say that here. I belong to other boards as well around here, and I know that in some places you have to carry huge papers around. WAEC does everything electronically, and that makes things easier. And thirdly, WAEC to me is a perfect confederation. That is, the countries are very strong, and they just make contributions to the upkeep of the international secretariat. So even though it's a unified WAEC, each country has its own peculiarities that it obeys. So it's relatively easier to play the diplomacy of WAEC. You are elected for 3 years, after which the chairmanship goes to another country. So it will be 15 years before it comes back to Nigeria. So the term ended, and I ceased being chairman. So the work was done. Most importantly, I learned a lot, which I'm carrying to many other things. And of course, if you know my schedule, WAEC was only 10% of my work. You know, as I'm sitting here, my calendar is full. On the 31st, I'm going to Lesotho. I'll come back on the 5th, on the 8th, I'm going to Belgium, and so on. I come back on the 17th, they'll be presenting the World Education for All report in Abuja. I'm the one presenting, and so on. And I understand my name was on APC think tank for policy dialogue for education. I didn't even know, and I didn't. So you can see. So what I'm saying is that it hasn't made me less busy. One thing Nigerians fail to do is to acknowledge what they have. Do you know that as at this time yesterday, people were demonstrating in Ghana against electricity shortage, that they haven't been having electricity for 3 years? Do you know that it's your Access Bank and GTZ and so over, GTB, Zenith, that are the banks in Ghana, that UBA you find as far as to Uganda? And do you know that the best professors, well-known professors in Ghanaian and other universities are Nigerians? There's a case of the prize you give to the best students in WAEC examinations, which this year were won by 3 Ghanaians. But that doesn't mean that Nigeria is lagging behind in academic excellence. I'm not saying we are excellent, but I think by African standards, we are not below anybody.
Recently, the WAEC INFOBOX crew traveled all the way to Ibadan, where the management of WAEC had an amazing send-off party for the outgoing chairman, Professor Pius Augustine Obayan, and it was an amazing event. And also, we give you a report of WAEC hosting 7 retirees as they bow out from the council. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
It was shower of encomiums recently when the management of the West African Examination Council organized a befitting send-off party in honor of the outgoing chairman of the council, Professor Pius Augustine Ike Obanya, who bowed out statutorily from the board after 3 years of meritorious service to the council from 2012 to 2015. The swimming pool section of Owu Crown Hotel, Ibadan, Oyo State, venue of the event was agog with selected guests, colleagues, associates, management and staff of WAEC, as well as friends and family of Professor Obanya, who, despite their busy schedules, registered attendance at the colorful event to rejoice with the foremost sage. Shortly after the commencement of the event around 4:30 p.m., words of encomium started pouring on the special guest of honor from all and sundry for his immeasurable contribution to the council. First on the list is the head of national office, Mr. Charles Egunidu, who reflected on the impeccable partnership he had with Professor Obanya.
Having served this organization for close to 3 decades and worked at the international headquarters for the better part of my working career, I've been privileged to attend international meetings of council, and I've worked at very close quarters with former chairmen of council. At least I could count on my fingertips, nothing less than 5. And with this cumulative experience over the years, I felt so proud when the person of Professor Obanya was elected as chairman of council, and I witnessed at very close quarters what it means to play your international matches with your best 11.
Registrar to the council, Dr. Iyi Uwadie, recalled how Professor Pius Obanya, who was once his lecturer in the university, gave him a hand to lie on after his appointment into the council.
I came in to the office as somebody new. Even though I was head of national office, one would have expected that some bit of experience would have been gotten from Lagos. But being at headquarters is a different ball game. Fortunately, God placed Prof there for me as the chairman of council. So I got there, he took me as his former student. I was his student once again, and he took me through.
On his remarks, Nigeria's chief government nominee to the council, Barrister Daniel Chike Nwazuoke, regarded Professor Obanya as a mentor and a friend who strives to ease pressure on anyone that seeks his assistance.
I refer to Pi Obanya as my master and my teacher. Professor Obanya is a mentor and a friend.
Thereafter, Dr. Laz Okafor stepped forward to reel out an enviable citation on Professor Obanya. He says, despite the fact that the educationist is hardworking, knowledgeable, with leadership disposition, he is also blessed with the right attitude that distinguishes him as the best partner anyone could ever think of.
I said, you are going to say something about this book. He said, come tomorrow. I said, Prof, not tomorrow. Because I know maybe somebody also will say, come and do something for us. It's okay, give me the manuscript, give me the manuscript, give me the manuscript. He surveyed the manuscript, looked at it, and within 30 minutes, he just came to the office. He said, so where is the light to print? I'll finish the assignment you gave me.
After much appraisal from the guest, the renowned educationist stepped out and he gave a very heartwarming response to all that has been said about his personality.
I'm overwhelmed and I'm grateful to all of you for making this day a reality. Ladies and gentlemen, I have had the good luck of working in many places and also functioning at the international level in Africa and beyond. But the WAEC experience was a special one for two reasons. You hear the expression, the WAEC family. I don't think I've seen a place, an organization, where people from diverse backgrounds, people from 5 different countries, work with the same spirit.
The guests were treated to all sorts of African and intercontinental dishes and assorted drinks. It was an assemblage of academics filled with enthusiasm as they danced, dined, and wined to the sonorous sounds from the musical band with the sage of African education.
My name is Olayinka Jibadi. You are watching WAEC INFOBOX. Keep watching.
The dream of every worker is to be successful on his or her career. This dream does not become a reality through magic. Rather, it takes sweat, determination, and hard work to become a force to reckon with. It was in view of this ideology that the management of the West African Examinations Council recently organized a beautiful send-off party in honor of 7 deputy registrars who retired from the council after years of enviable service to the council. A remarkable day it was, as friends, families, and invited dignitaries converged at the Banquet Hall of Excellence Hotel and Conference Center, Ogba, Lagos, to rejoice with the retired senior citizens. WAEC Head of National Office, Mr. Charles Egunridu, was full of praise for the 7 retirees, saying they contributed immensely to his success as HNO.
A lot of people say, oh, you've done well as HNO. I don't know whether I have done well. But whatever I have done was because when I assumed duty, somebody like Mr. I.S. Omoya called me to the corner and gave me a blueprint, which I chose to follow. Everything you see being done in the Nigeria office today, by the grace of God, was part of the strategic plan that Mr. I.S. Omoya gave to me. Mr. Kepoye has also been of immense support and a pillar when I assumed duty. Pastor Ayot Tijani is a man of prayer. What I know about Mr. Iswaja is that you can never make him happy. He is so amiable and down to earth with you. These eminent personalities we are celebrating today have made history by their contribution to this organization.
Chairperson of the occasion, Mrs. M.B. Ojekere, in her remarks, appreciated the guests who surmounted the national challenges facing the country at the moment, especially the fuel scarcity, to attend the event.
The management and staff today are saying to you, distinguished retirees, well done. You trustworthy and faithful servants. You started the race well and you ended well and strong. Congratulations. As you retire from the service of the council, you will not be tired. Amen? Amen.
One after the other, citations were read on the 7 retirees. The impressive turnout of guests at the colorful occasion to felicitate with the retirees showed how the impact of the retirees were felt by WAEC during their active service years to the council. The event was a day to reminiscence for the retirees as they exchanged pleasantries amidst dance, joy, laughter, and recalling of old memories.
Right about now, we get to my favorite segment where we take your feedbacks and your comments. Don't go away. You definitely want to see your feedback.
It's already on. We have floated entries. We started since 4th May, and the normal entry will close by August 24th.
The cost of the November-December 2015 diet is 11,600 naira. That's the cost every candidate is expected to pay. They are not to pay more than that.
If he writes exam in Kano, he will get the certificate in Kano. But the result of the exam is on the internet for everybody to check.
Have any question, inquiry, or suggestion, send us an email, waecinfobox@gmail.com, or talk to us on Twitter at waecinfobox, or you can like us on Facebook. It's WAEC Infobox. We've come to the end of the maiden edition, and it was fantastic. I hope you agree with me that we've been able to bridge the gap between WAEC and you. Remember, WAEC is saying read, prepare, pass your exams, and be tomorrow's leaders. See you same time. My name has been Daphne. Bye-bye.